Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel here at commaik. The lawn area you see behind me was created last year, and additionally, an irrigation system with Hunter MP rotators installed. The lawn area is still growing. I reseeded the lawn. The soil has settled a bit over the winter. Right next to it is the slope, which ends at my Gabion wall below. This slope needs to be. I also want to create and plant it anew in some way. To green it anew, an irrigation system is also to be installed here. To do that, I will build more Gabion walls and I will install more irrigation pipes, install distribution boxes and control valves. If you want to see what I'm doing there and how I'm doing it, so stay tuned, it's about to start. The slope I created separates the upper area of the lawn from the lower area that is located by the street, with a depth of approximately 2 meters and a length of about, at 15 meters, it is quite a considerable size. The slope is to be redesigned to make it low maintenance, remains and still hosts beautiful plants to provide the animals with an appealing environment. My ideas are roughly in this area. I already have such a slope there. Setup, you know this from my other videos. I will link it for you again, top right in the corner. To ensure that the slope remains low maintenance in the future, automatic irrigation will be installed. For this, I will use the XFD drip hose from Rainbird. I have already had good experiences with it. Even during the installation, I had installed necessary water pipes for my lawn irrigation system. I have only set up a small water distributor to create a water point directly at using raised beds. This is of course just a temporary solution and is intended to look nice in the future. Will be properly installed in a valve box. So what needs to be done? Here in this area, I will install a new valve box. This valve box must properly control the new irrigation for the slope in order to function effectively. And at the same time ensure the water supply for the raised beds and the thuja hedge. Both should also be automatically irrigated in the future. A third water line must definitely be installed under the Gabion wall. I had already prepared that back then. This is intended to. The lower area of the garden will also be supplied with water and irrigation systems to ensure optimal growth. I will install the second valve box here. This is intended to supply water to the raised bed and, of course, to the thuja hedge that I have created above the slope. An additional water connection for a garden hose would of course be great. My problem is, however, that the valve box, they could slide down the slope very quickly. I would have to bury them so deep that the stability of the concrete curbs. For this reason, I have already started to build a new Gabion basket. This stone basket is connected by a spiral connected to the Gabion wall below. I also attach the basket to the old wall at the back. Connected. This indeed makes the construction very stable. I will fill this Gabion wall with stones. In the middle, I won't be using stones, but rather plant pots. I want to plant the Gabion wall. The plants are supposed to grow out of the Gabion wall. Once the first basket is finished, a second one will be made. A basket is built on top, approximately at this height. The Gabion wall is to be shaped like stairs, and then finish flush with the existing Gabion wall at the top. Behind that, I still have enough space to install the second valve box without any concerns that the curbs are sliding downwards despite the deep foundation and reinforcement. The two stone baskets are placed and filled. In the lower basket I have additionally 2 sturdy plant poles integrated and lavender planted. It is relatively low maintenance and can grow well here on its own. The construction is so stable that I can walk on it. The upper basket also holds. On the sides I have placed 2 retaining stones to support the gravel that I installed for stabilization does not slip out. This area I will generously fill in with the remaining stones that I still have to further increase stability. Behind it, I still have enough space to install my distribution box. On the slope, my wife has already begun to remove the old plants or to replant. Some plants do not grow very well on the slope, while others are now grown too large. We will also trim the remaining plants back accordingly, or implement that the slope is clean and tidy, ensuring it remains so. Afterwards, a black weed barrier on the ground. This is meant to prevent unwanted plants from growing through. The area on the slope is extremely difficult to maintain and keep clean. At some point we are simply too old to climb up the slope here every time to trim the plants and tend to the flower bed. Once the black fabric is installed, I can begin to build the water supply and the irrigation system for the slope. The protective fabric is applied over a large area. I initially secured it with anchors in the ground, secured so that the wind does not blow it away. I have also already prepared the hole for the first valve box dug. The box fits comfortably into this area. I will determine the height of the valve box later, align with my gravel. In the distribution box, I will set up the water supply, which comes from the lawn irrigation is coming to be connected. This will later supply the entire area with water. Supplies, I also install the water pipe for the area below the Gabion. I need a water connection for the Rainbird drip line that is to irrigate the entire slope. Furthermore, I am installing a fourth water pipe that runs to the end of the slope to the second valve box. This second valve box will later supply water to the raised bed and also to the hedge. For the water distribution, I rely again on evaluated components. With them, I have already gained good experiences. Here you see the Rainbird water distributor with a Hunter magnetic valve and a manual faucet. The distributor is to be installed in the slope that I can easily and precisely manually control the water supply for the area below the Gabion. The inlet will be connected up here. I will set up the irrigation for the slope at the solenoid valve. I will connect the pipe for the second valve box to this fitting. I will show you, just as I assembled the water distributor and why I use these components. It is absolutely very important that the distributor fits securely and properly into the valve box in such a way that I can efficiently and effectively connect the pipes, can be laid and connected without tension. The distributor has a flexible connection. I can change the length at the connections. However, this only works if the distribute pipes must not install under tension or lateral pressure. It can quickly happen that the joints become leaky. So I made the hole a bit larger, excavated larger. I will also prepare the holes for the openings in the valve box. Drill a little larger so that the distributor can be installed loosely and without pressure. I can later adjust the slope of the pipe through the angle at the pipe. But now we continue with the assembly of the Rainbird water distributor. The water distributor that I use consists of various components from Rainbird, Hunter and other manufacturers. If you want to recreate the distributor, just check the video description below. There I have linked the components used for you. Now I will show you how to use this Rainbird water distributor. You can assemble. I would like to start with the water distributor from Rainbird. This is the variant with 2 outlets. This distributor is also available in the variant with 3 or with 4 outlets. The special feature of this system is that the outlets are variable. This means that you are more flexible when the distributor is installed in the valve box with a solenoid valve, and if you want to remove the valve later because you need to replace or repair it, that is possible significantly easier. When the solenoid valve is connected to the distributor and on the other, once the pipe is connected, it is already very tight in the valve box. There is hardly any space. Possibility to dismantle the components again without having to remove the surrounding soil extensively to expose the entire area with the pipes. Here there is the possibility to connect. Just push it back by about a finger's breadth. This is approximately equivalent to the thread length. Then I can remove the valve and reinstall it. This brings significantly more flexibility. There are also suitable angles for this distributor to route the water pipes around the corner. I can also screw several distributors together. The Rainbird system is therefore very, very flexible. It is also self-sealing. The threads, seals and O-rings have already been installed. To automate and control the water flow, I rely on the solenoid valves from Hunter. I have also installed valves from Rainbird. They work just as well. I am absolutely satisfied with it. However, I find the manual control with the coil from Hunter up here clearly easier than with the Rainbird solenoid valves. In my opinion, those are much harder to operate. A marking is placed on the valve that indicates the flow direction. Water is supposed to flow out of this distributor. That means I will unscrew the valve without an additional seal or Teflon tape, such as, for example, in order to ensure proper sealing and prevent leaks. It is important to apply carefully and precisely to the threads of the water distributor to achieve optimal results and maintain system integrity. Only hand tight and not tighter. The 24V valve is controlled via the 2 cables in the system setup. As soon as the voltage is applied, the valve opens and the water flows. When the voltage drops, the valve closes and the water stops. I will connect the cables to my irrigation computer later. So I also need to install a corresponding control cable in the valve box. I need 2 wires per valve. However, for 2 valves, I only need 3 wires. The mass cable is the same for all valves. However, I have already mentioned this in another video explains installation of my Hunter irrigation controller. Video can be found, you up there on the right. There you can take a look at the procedure at your leisure. To get the water from the valve into the PE pipe, I can certainly and easily use the 1 fittings right away. I really enjoy using these fittings from Gardena. They are really very easy to handle, especially in inaccessible and narrow areas. I find them significantly better than the connectors with screw closures. The Gardena system works up to 1. I can screw the connector directly hand tight onto the valve. This Gardena fitting already has a seal built in. To install the PE pipe, simply open it half a turn, push the pipe all the way in and push it again, then turn it half a turn to close. Then everything is tight, it is really tight. This completes the connection to the irrigation on the slope. Now I need a connection that channels the water to the area below my gabions in the system. I do not need a valve here, as this area will later be controlled by a separate valve box. It has its own control valves. However, I would like to keep the option open to completely disconnect the lower area from the water, so I need to install a shut-off valve here. There are these very large and bulky gate valves. Unfortunately, they do not fit very well in the valve boxes. At some point I discovered small shut-off valves. They are great. One disadvantage from my perspective is that the water flow is significantly reduced. You can see that here the opening for the remaining water is smaller compared to the fitting. For the lawn irrigation, I can say the following. The water demand is not as high with the Hunter MP rotators or Rainbird R vans. In case of emergency, the following zones must be watered one after the other. This faucet also has a flow direction. That means I have to install it here at the exit in the right direction. One option to screw the faucet directly onto the connector, the use of a suitable connector is required. For example, a reducer piece. I will also link this reducer piece for you under the video. These connectors have a built-in seal. The faucet also already has a seal. I screw the 2 together tightly. Once the preliminary steps have been completed, the faucet, which is an essential component of the plumbing system, can be carefully and securely screwed onto the water distributor. This ensures a proper and tight fit, preventing any potential leaks or water wastage. The faucet is relatively small, so I have no problems with the space. He does not bump into anything. The PE pipe is now to be reconnected to the faucet. For the PE pipe, as I just showed, there are the 1 connections and also the more common 3/4 connections. They fit easily and securely directly onto the thread of the faucet without any hassle. I will then connect the PE pipe with the fitting. This way, the water will later be directed to the area below the gabions. I can establish a secure connection for the water pipe for the second valve box with the 1 valve fitting in order to ensure proper connection. I simply screw it onto the end of the Rainbird distributor and can connect the PE pipe there. On the other hand, I could simply install an elbow and direct the water around the curve. But I can also install such couplings or connectors. This allows me, for example, to switch from the internal thread to the external thread, to then carefully screw on the 1 Gardena fitting, ensuring a tight fit and securely. Depending on how you want to design the distributor, for example, there are 1 internal thread to internal thread, or 1 internal thread to 3 to 4 internal thread reducing fittings. They are suitable, for example, to reduce a 1 connection to a 3/4 connection, such as in that particular situation, I would have the opportunity to, as an example, carefully and meticulously reattach the faucet by screwing it back into its original position. As you can see, indeed, the possibilities are very diverse. If you plan to build this water distributor as per your needs, then make sure to check in advance which components you need. You have 1 connections here and you have 1 connections here. The Gardena system has a 3-4 connection or a 1 connection. The solenoid valves typically also have a 1 connection. These faucets have only a 3-4 connection. So make sure to order all the necessary adapters, reducers and connectors in advance before assembly. Then you can easily assemble the distributor without failing due to a missing transition. I will now carefully and securely take the water distributor that I have already assembled with precision and carefully place it in my valve box so that I understand where to make the holes for the passages with my... I need to drill with a core drill and then I can install the valve box with the water distributor. Before I continue with that, I have a request for you. If you like my work, if you like my video, please be fair, hit the like button below and give a thumbs up. Write me some feedback in the comments section. Both would make me very happy. If you generally enjoy my videos and my projects, then please subscribe to my channel and you won't miss any of the new videos. And if you need the components that I have here, check out the video description below the video. There I have listed the products. All linked. You get them at the same price as I do. My channel receives a small commission. This is how I make a living. And with it, I finance my projects. I say thank you, and let's keep going. Yes, my dear friends, I am approaching the end of the first part of my project, Irrigation on the Slope with Rainbird Drip Pipe. The video has already become longer than planned. For this reason, I have decided to publish a second part. You will find it linked at the top right soon. What have I done so far? I have installed the 2 valve boxes and we are almost done laying the protective fleece. My wife is still crafting a little on the details for the new garden steps. We will be able to easily tend to the flower bed using the steps later. What I plan to do with these components, specifically the drip tube, the connectors, and this black part, I will show and explain that to you in the next video, so definitely stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel so you won't miss the second part. Then you'll see how my project progresses. Give me feedback in the comments section. I will link all the components I use here in the description under the video. If you need something, just click on it and buy it again. The same price for you and a small commission for me and my channel. Did you like my video? Then give me a like. That would be fair and I would be really happy. Thank you for watching and I look forward to the second part with you. Until then, take care. Bye. See you soon.